Listen carefully. Not tomorrow. Not later. Right now. If this message found you before tonight, it is not an accident. It is alignment. It is timing that could not be delayed any longer. There has been movement behind the scenes of your life, movement you could not see, but movement that never stopped. And now, something that has been waiting, has been approved. Take a slow breath. You are not here by chance. There are moments when heaven does not shout. It leans close. This is one of those moments. A moment where silence breaks not with noise, but with clarity. You have carried questions. You have carried patience. You have carried faith even when it felt heavy in your hands. And still, you kept going. Still, you showed up. Still, you hoped quietly when no one was watching. That matters. There has been a conversation about you, about your name, about the thing you stopped talking about because explaining it hurt too much. You thought it was delayed. You thought it was forgotten. But it was never dismissed. It was being prepared. What you are about to hear is not rushed. It is not emotional noise. It is precise. It is intentional. And it is meant to meet you exactly where you are, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You may have noticed signs recently. Small shifts. Strange calm after long unrest. Random reminders of people or dreams you thought you had released. That was not your imagination. That was alignment beginning to take form. There are seasons when nothing seems to move, yet everything is being rearranged. This was one of those seasons. And now, the waiting phase is ending. You were not being tested. You were being positioned. The miracle you asked for did not arrive the way you expected because it needed to arrive in a way that would last. What is approved for you is not fragile. It is stable. It is protected. It is timed so that when it enters your life, it stays. This is why the delays happened. This is why certain doors did not open. This is why some people exited quietly. You were being preserved. There is relief coming that will feel unfamiliar at first. You may question it. You may even wonder if it is real. That is normal when peace replaces long tension. Do not resist it. Let it settle. Let it show you that struggle was never meant to be your permanent language. You are stepping into a chapter where effort begins to produce visible results. Where conversations shift. Where answers arrive without you having to chase them. Where good news finds you instead of the other way around. Something you thought was almost is now complete. Something you thought was pending is now confirmed. And it will not arrive loudly. It will arrive clearly. Pay attention in the next hours. Pay attention to messages, calls, thoughts that feel gentle but persistent. Pay attention to sudden certainty where confusion used to live. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. You have been heard. There is nothing you need to prove right now. Nothing you need to force. Your role in this moment is simple. Stay open. Stay present. Stay willing to receive without questioning your worth. Because this approval was not based on perfection. It was based on sincerity. On endurance. On the fact that you did not quit, even when quitting felt reasonable. You are allowed to feel hopeful again. You are allowed to expect good outcomes. You are allowed to believe that things can change quickly when alignment replaces resistance. This is not the end of your journey. This is the turning point. And as this message continues, you will understand why the timing matters, why tonight matters, and why what comes next will restore more than you think. Stay here. Do not rush. This moment was waiting for you. Stay with me. What you are hearing now is not meant to pass through you quickly. It is meant to settle, to unfold, to awaken something that has been quiet inside you for a long time. There are moments in life when you feel surrounded, yet unseen. When you give love, effort, patience, and understanding, but wonder if anyone truly recognizes the weight you carry. This message is arriving now because that question has finally been answered. You have been cared for in ways you did not notice, protected in moments you never realized were dangerous to your future, guided away from paths that looked right but would have cost you peace. What felt like loneliness was often isolation for preparation. What felt like rejection was redirection. You were not forgotten. You were being guarded. There is a kind of love that does not announce itself loudly. It does not demand attention. It works quietly, consistently, faithfully. That is the love that has surrounded you during your hardest days. Even when you questioned everything, even when you questioned yourself, you were never alone. You may have asked, why am I the one who understands more, gives more, waits more? Because your heart was being shaped to recognize truth when it finally arrived. And now it has. Something is shifting in how you will be treated. People who once overlooked you will suddenly notice your value. Situations that drained you will no longer have access to you. You are stepping into a season where your presence is respected, not tolerated. Where your voice carries weight. Where your sincerity becomes your strength. This is not emotional comfort. This is clarity. There are relationships, past, present, and future, that are being realigned right now. Some bonds will deepen with honesty and warmth. Others will fade without conflict, without regret. And you will finally understand why certain connections could not continue the way they were. You are not losing anything important. You are gaining yourself. If at any moment during this message you feel a sudden sense of calm, pause. Let that feeling breathe. That is recognition. That is your spirit remembering what it feels like to be supported. You are allowed to rest your mind. You are allowed to trust again. You are allowed to believe that love does not always hurt. And if this message is touching something deep inside you, let it travel beyond just this moment. Let others feel this clarity too. Let this understanding move, quietly and naturally, the way truth always does. You are part of something unfolding, something meaningful, something kind, something that does not rush but always arrives on time. What comes next in this message will explain why this shift is happening now, why it feels different from before, and how to walk forward without fear. Do not leave. The most important part is still coming. There is something important you need to understand now, and it changes everything. The miracle you have been waiting for was never only about the outcome. It was about who you would become while waiting. That is why it took time. That is why shortcuts were removed from your path. You are being refined for something that requires steadiness, not urgency. You are stronger than the version of yourself who first asked for this. Wiser, calmer, more aware of what truly matters. If the answer had arrived earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. Now, it will fit you. This is the moment when confusion starts to dissolve. When scattered thoughts begin to line up. When your heart finally understands what your mind could not explain. You were not wrong to hope. You were not foolish to believe. You were simply early. And now, you are right on time. There is unseen love surrounding you, love that has intervened quietly, adjusted outcomes gently, and softened situations that could have broken you. When you felt like giving up, something held you together. When you felt lost, something kept you from going too far off course. That was not chance. That was care. You may notice that you are no longer desperate for answers the way you used to be. That is a sign of growth. When peace replaces panic, it means alignment is close. When you stop chasing reassurance, it means reassurance is already near. This message is not here to excite you for a moment and leave you empty after. It is here to restore something deeper, trust. Trust in love that does not abandon. Trust in timing that does not fail. Trust in yourself again. There are people who will soon show you kindness without conditions. Opportunities that will feel natural instead of forced. Conversations that bring clarity instead of confusion. These are confirmations that the season has changed. Do not rush ahead mentally. Do not replay old disappointments. Do not measure what is coming by what already passed. This is new ground. You are entering a phase where you no longer have to explain your worth, where you no longer feel invisible in rooms that matter, where your presence is enough, where your sincerity becomes your protection. And if you have felt emotionally tired, this is your permission to rest. Rest does not mean stopping. It means trusting that you are supported even when you are still. The reason this message feels personal is because it is. It is meeting you at the exact frequency of your heart right now. Not loud, not dramatic, just true. What remains ahead in this message will show you how to hold this peace, how to recognize the signs as they appear, and how to step forward without fear or doubt. Stay with this moment. You are closer than you think. This is the part where everything becomes clear. Not loud, not dramatic. Clear. You are not standing at the edge of hope anymore. You are standing inside fulfillment, even if the full picture has not revealed itself yet. This is where many people leave too early, but you stayed. And because you stayed, you are hearing what others miss. There is a reason this message asked for your attention now. Before tonight. Before the mind fills again with doubt. Before the world distracts you back into forgetting what you just remembered about yourself. You matter more than you were ever taught to believe. There has been unseen cooperation happening around your life. People, events, timing, quietly rearranging themselves so that what reaches you does not wound you, but restores you. That is why some answers came slowly. That is why some desires softened before they arrived. You were being protected from receiving too much too fast. Now you are ready. What is coming into your life will not require you to beg, chase, or explain. It will recognize you. It will meet you where you are. It will feel natural, even if it is extraordinary. That is how aligned things arrive. You may soon notice a shift in how you speak to yourself. Less harsh, more patient. That is not random. When inner dialogue changes, outer reality follows. Healing is not loud, but it is powerful. You are learning that love does not always come as fireworks. Sometimes it comes as peace that stays, acceptance that does not question you, purpose that feels steady instead of rushed. And if at any moment you feel the urge to pause this video and breathe, do it. Let this moment mark you. Let it remind you that messages like this do not arrive often, and when they do, they are meant to be carried forward. There are others who feel exactly the way you once did, searching quietly, hoping silently. When understanding moves through you, let it move beyond you as well. Truth grows when it is passed gently from one heart to another. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. As this message continues beyond this part, remember this feeling. Remember this calm certainty. It will help you recognize the good news when it appears, sometimes subtly, sometimes suddenly, but always right on time. Stay present. Stay open. What has been approved for you is already on its way. There is one final layer you must understand, and it is the most powerful one. The miracle that has been approved is not only something that will happen to you. It is something that will move through you. It will change how you respond, how you choose, how you see yourself when no one else is watching. This is why the preparation was internal before it ever became visible. You are no longer asking from emptiness. You are receiving from alignment. What is coming will not shock you into fear. It will steady you into confidence. You will recognize it by how calm your heart feels when it arrives. No confusion, no chaos, just a quiet knowing that says, this fits. There were moments when you doubted your sensitivity, when you thought feeling deeply was a weakness. It was never a weakness. It was the very signal that allowed guidance to reach you. Your awareness protected you when logic could not. Your intuition kept you from settling for less than what you deserve. This is why you are here now. You are stepping into a phase where clarity replaces questioning, where direction replaces drifting, where your energy no longer leaks into things that do not value it. This is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to who you were before the world asked you to harden. There will be good news that feels personal. It may arrive through words, through opportunity, or through a sudden shift that resolves something you thought would take much longer. When it happens, you will not need proof. You will simply know. Trust that feeling. You do not need to announce your growth. You do not need to explain your healing. Let the results speak gently for you. Let peace be your evidence. Let consistency be your confirmation. If you ever return to this message, let it remind you of this moment, when you chose to stay present instead of scrolling past something meant for you. That choice matters more than you realize. You are deeply supported. You are intentionally guided. You are allowed to receive what has been approved. Hold this knowing with you. Carry it forward. And when the miracle unfolds, remember that it was never rushed, never forced, and never late. It was waiting for you to be ready. Stay here for this moment, because this is where the understanding deepens. What you are experiencing right now is not excitement. It is recognition. A quiet inner agreement that says, yes, this explains so much. When truth arrives, it does not rush the heart. There were times you thought you were losing strength, but you were actually shedding weight that was never meant to be yours. Expectations, guilt, old responsibilities that did not belong to your future. You were being lightened so you could move forward freely. The miracle that is unfolding does not come to replace your life. It comes to align with it. That is important. You will notice that what approaches you next will not demand you to become smaller, quieter, or different. It will meet you as you are. It will respect your boundaries. It will value your patience. This is how you will know it is real. You are no longer meant to survive on hope alone. You are meant to experience confirmation. There is a deep reassurance forming within you now. It is subtle, but it is strong. It is the kind that remains even after the video ends, even after the day moves on, even when you are alone with your thoughts. That reassurance is a sign that something has shifted permanently. You are entering a stage where your intuition becomes clearer. Decisions will feel simpler. The noise will fade. You will know when to move and when to wait, without forcing either. This is not because life suddenly became easy. It is because you became aligned. If you ever wondered why your heart stayed soft despite disappointment, this is the reason. Softness was never meant to break you. It was meant to guide you. And now it is guiding you toward what has already been approved. The waiting season shaped your discernment. The silence sharpened your awareness. The delays trained your patience. Nothing was wasted. Not a single moment. There will be a sense of gratitude rising in you soon, even before the full outcome is visible. Gratitude before proof is one of the strongest signs that alignment has taken place. It means your spirit already recognizes what is coming. Hold on to that feeling. As this message continues beyond this part, it will help you understand how to remain steady when the good news arrives, how to protect your peace, and how to walk forward without reopening old wounds. Do not rush ahead mentally. Do not doubt what you feel now. This calm certainty is not temporary. It is your new foundation. This is where everything comes together, and you feel it, not as emotion, but as truth. You have reached the point where the message no longer needs to convince you. It simply confirms what your heart has already begun to understand. The calm you feel now is not temporary. It is the result of alignment settling into place. You were never meant to struggle endlessly. You were meant to learn, to grow, and then to receive. And now, receiving is no longer something you have to question or delay. It is allowed. There is a quiet confidence forming in you, not the kind that speaks loudly, but the kind that stands firmly. You will notice it when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop chasing validation, when you start trusting your inner guidance without second-guessing every step. That is transformation. The miracle that has been approved will meet you gently. It will not overwhelm your life or disturb your peace. It will integrate naturally, as if it always belonged there. And when it arrives, you will realize that the waiting did not weaken you. It prepared you to hold it well. You are no longer defined by what hurt you. You are no longer limited by what delayed you. You are no longer bound to who you used to be. This is a new rhythm, a steadier pace, a clearer direction. You may look back soon and see how everything lined up in ways you could not have planned. How the pauses protected you. How the endings freed you. How the silence trained you to listen more deeply. And you will smile, not because everything was easy, but because everything made sense. Carry this awareness with you beyond this moment. Let it guide how you speak, how you choose, how you wait, and how you receive. When doubt tries to return, remember this calm. Remember this certainty. Remember that what is meant for you does not rush, and it does not miss. You are deeply supported. You are intentionally guided. You are moving forward with clarity, not fear. Stay grounded in this truth. The approval has already been given. And what comes next will meet you exactly where you are, right on time. Stay with this moment a little longer, because this is where the message becomes personal in a deeper way. There is a reason you are still listening. Not curiosity, recognition. Something inside you understands that this is not just a comforting voice, but a confirmation that your life is moving into a different pattern now. You are no longer waiting for permission to feel hopeful. Hope is already present, quiet, steady, strong. The approval you heard about earlier was not symbolic. It was precise. It means that resistance has lifted. It means that the inner doors you could not force open have unlocked on their own. When things unlock naturally, they do not break. They last. You may notice that old fears feel weaker now. They still exist, but they no longer control you. That is one of the clearest signs that a transition is happening. Fear fades when purpose becomes clear. There is a kindness surrounding your life right now that you may not fully see yet. Small mercies, gentle protections, subtle guidance. These are not dramatic, but they are powerful. They shape outcomes quietly, the way lasting change always does. You are being reminded that love does not always arrive as intensity. Sometimes it arrives as understanding, as patience, as a steady presence that does not leave when things become inconvenient. This is important for you to hear. You are not too late. You are not behind. You did not miss your moment. Your moment adjusted to meet you where you are now. There will be a sense of rightness in the days ahead. Decisions will feel lighter. You will feel less pressure to explain your journey. You will begin to trust that what is meant for you does not require constant struggle. If your heart has been tired, this is where restoration begins. Not through effort, but through acceptance. Accepting that you are allowed to receive good without guilt. Accepting that your story is unfolding in a way that honors who you are becoming. You do not need to rush toward the future. The future is already moving toward you. Let this message settle into you. Let it remind you that unseen love has been present all along. Let it reassure you that what has been approved will arrive in a way that brings peace, not confusion. Hold this calm. Carry it forward. Because the chapter you are stepping into now is not built on waiting anymore. It is built on trust, clarity, and gentle certainty. Listen carefully now. Because this part carries a quiet truth that many people never hear clearly. What you are stepping into is not a reward for suffering. It is a response to endurance with awareness. You did not simply survive what you went through, you learned from it, even when learning felt invisible. That is why this moment feels different. You are not being rescued. You are being met. There is a difference. You are beginning to notice that your reactions are changing. Things that once unsettled you no longer have the same power. Opinions that once felt heavy now pass by without attachment. This is not emotional numbness. This is stability. Stability is rare. And it is valuable. The miracle unfolding around you respects this stability. It will not pull you back into old cycles. It will not require you to compromise your peace. It will enhance what you have already become, not replace it. There was a time when you thought clarity would come as an answer. Instead, it came as a feeling you could not shake. A sense that something was aligning even when nothing on the surface had changed yet. That feeling was true. You are learning to trust that inner recognition more than external noise. And that trust is opening doors you do not have to push. There are moments ahead where you will pause and realize how far you have come, not in achievements, but in calm, in self-respect, in the way you no longer abandon yourself for acceptance. That awareness is part of the miracle too. You are allowed to feel grounded now. You are allowed to feel safe in your own thoughts. You are allowed to expect good without bracing for loss. If loneliness once echoed loudly, it is beginning to quiet because you are no longer disconnected from yourself. And when that connection is restored, everything else begins to align naturally. This message is reminding you of something essential. You are deeply cared for, even in the unseen spaces of your life. You do not need to prepare more. You do not need to fix yourself further. You do not need to wait for permission. You are already positioned. As this video continues, hold on to this sense of steadiness. It will help you recognize what belongs to you when it arrives. Because what is meant for you will feel familiar, not forced. You are not standing at the end of a journey. You are standing at the beginning of a clearer one. Stay present, because this part speaks to what happens after the realization, when life begins to respond to your inner shift. There is a quiet rebalancing taking place now. You may not see it immediately, but you will feel it. Situations that once drained you will start resolving without effort. Conversations that once felt heavy will become simpler. You will notice that you are no longer pushing against life. Life is beginning to meet you halfway. This is not coincidence. This is response. The moment you stopped fighting yourself, things began to rearrange around you. That is the power of inner alignment. It does not force change. It invites it. You may soon receive information that clarifies something you have been uncertain about for a long time. It may come through a person, a message, or a sudden realization that feels unmistakably clear. When it happens, your first reaction will not be shock. It will be relief. Relief is a sign of truth. There is also something important to understand about timing. What is coming is arriving now because you can finally receive it without fear of losing yourself. Earlier versions of you would have tried too hard to hold on to it. This version of you knows how to let things stay without gripping them. That is maturity. That is readiness. You are learning that divine purpose does not rush. It unfolds. It allows you to breathe while it works. It strengthens you quietly so that when blessings appear, they do not destabilize you. If you look closely, you will see how your intuition has sharpened. You sense when to pause. You sense when to move. You sense when something is not for you without needing evidence. That awareness is now one of your greatest protections. This message is not here to create dependence. It is here to restore confidence. Confidence in your inner guidance, your worth, and your direction. You are not walking blindly anymore. You are walking knowingly. The next phase of your life will feel calmer, even when it brings growth. Challenges will feel manageable, not overwhelming. And support will appear in ways that feel natural rather than dramatic. Remember this moment. Remember how steady you feel right now. When life speeds up again, return to this calm center. It is yours now. You are moving forward with clarity. You are supported without condition. You are aligned with what has already been approved. And as this message continues beyond this point, it will help you recognize the signs of confirmation when they appear, so you do not overlook them or doubt them. Stay here. The unfolding is already in motion. This is the part where understanding becomes anchored, not just felt. There is a shift happening in how you carry yourself now. It is subtle, but it is unmistakable. You are no longer waiting for life to validate you. You are moving with a quiet assurance that does not need approval. That is not something you forced. It arrived naturally, the moment alignment settled in. You may notice that your thoughts are clearer, less scattered, less urgent. When urgency fades, it means trust has taken its place. And trust is the foundation of everything that lasts. There were lessons you learned without realizing you were learning them. How to stay calm when things were uncertain. How to listen instead of react. How to choose peace over proving a point. These lessons prepared you for what is coming next. Because what is coming requires steadiness. The miracle that has been approved is not fragile. It does not need constant attention or fear-driven protection. It arrives strong enough to stand on its own. That is why you had to grow into this moment rather than rush toward it. You are no longer operating from lack. You are operating from awareness. And awareness changes outcomes. You may soon experience moments where life feels unexpectedly gentle, where things work out without resistance, where answers appear without stress. Do not question those moments. Receive them. Ease is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of alignment. This message is reminding you that divine purpose does not overwhelm the heart. It reassures it. It does not confuse the mind. It clarifies it. And it does not rush the process. It honors timing. You are beginning to live from a place of inner permission. Permission to rest. Permission to expect good. Permission to believe that you are supported even when you cannot see how. Hold on to this knowing. As you continue listening, let this awareness become your baseline. Let it shape how you respond to the world. When challenges arise, you will meet them differently now, not with fear, but with understanding. You are not guessing anymore. You are recognizing. And recognition is one of the strongest forms of clarity there is. This is where the message settles into certainty, not excitement. Not emotion. Certainty. You are no longer standing in anticipation. You are standing in alignment. And alignment does not shout. It confirms. Quietly. Clearly. Permanently. There is a deep reason this message stayed with you until now. Not every voice can hold your attention this long unless it is speaking to something real inside you. Something that recognizes truth without needing proof. You have crossed a line internally. The version of you that doubted whether things would ever change is no longer leading. In its place is a steadier awareness, one that understands that progress does not always announce itself, but it never lies. What has been approved for you is already influencing your life in subtle ways. You may notice it in how you respond instead of react, in how you pause instead of panic. In how you trust yourself instead of questioning every step. That is evidence. You are not waiting anymore in the way you once did. You are allowing. And allowing is powerful because it removes resistance. When resistance dissolves, movement becomes inevitable. There will be moments ahead when you realize something resolved itself without struggle. When clarity arrived without effort. When support appeared without you asking. Those moments are not random. They are confirmations that alignment is active. This message was never meant to replace your intuition. It was meant to remind you of it. You already know when something is right. You already feel when something belongs. You already sense when a chapter has ended. Trust that. If loneliness once shaped your thoughts, it will no longer define them. If confusion once clouded your direction, it will no longer lead you. You are grounded now in a deeper understanding of who you are and what you are worthy of receiving. And this is important. You do not need to hold on to this message tightly. What was meant to reach you has already done its work. The calm you feel now is not temporary. It is the foundation for what comes next. You are not moving forward blindly. You are moving forward supported. Carry this certainty with you. Let it guide how you choose, how you wait, how you receive. When the good news arrives, and it will, you will recognize it not by surprise, but by familiarity, because what has been approved